US cents, 70 euro cents, 56 pence sterling.
For more on finance, we're joined in the studio now by Rod North from Bourse Communications. Rod, good morning.
Good morning.
How's the share market faring?
Well, the share market's sort of marking time a little bit at the moment because I guess there's a few sort of things in play internationally, and I think one of the things that was quite interesting to see our dollar yesterday, albeit briefly, dropped below 90 cents for the first time in 6 months since March. So, I mean, that's sort of signalling, I think, the fact that the focus is very much on the US and the Federal Reserve and at what point in time in the cycle US rates might start to move up from their current level of zero, which of course will have, you know, a fairly significant impact to our dollar here, which will be good news, I think, for the Reserve Bank and for the Governor, who's been saying for some time that, you know, our dollar has been sort of unsustainably high. So we expect that to play out over, you know, coming weeks.
And what do you see? What do you hear when you speak to people when it does dip below 90?
Well, I think the general feeling is a bit of a sense of relief because, I mean, there's so many companies in Australia, particularly in the agricultural sector, that have been affected for years, you know, having the dollar, you know, above 90 and up at parity. So I think, you know, at some stage it'd be good to see that we can compete a bit more in the world, you know, with what we export. And I think that time will come, you know, over the next 6 to 12 months because there's a fair bit of talk that, you know, with the US economy improving, particularly, we probably won't see that until sort of early next year where rates will start to move up, our dollar will come down. But of course that will also mean that the Reserve Bank has got a bit of a balancing act to do with its own you know, cash rate as well.
Now, we're expecting the minutes of the last Reserve Bank board meeting to be released today.
Yes, we are, and probably what we're going to hear is nothing more than has already been articulated by the Governor, Glenn Stevens, which is basically that rates will remain on hold. They've been on hold now for 13 months. And, you know, much of the talk is still very much not likely to see any change for the end of the calendar year here, but then into next year. And I think a lot of that will be looking at, you know, what happens with the dollar, you know, whether we see our unemployment rate, you know, continue the trend, which for last month was down to 6.1, but for the previous month of July it was up to 6.4. I think we need a few months to pan out before, you know, a decision's made, you know, about what to do on rates going forward.
Now, where did your business end up on BRW's list of top places to work in Australia?
Well, I think there's a bit of concern over the fact that we don't have a ping pong table, we don't have a lolly bar.
Is that what you're supposed to have?
Yes.
The ABC has that.
And a mood app too,
Yep.
you know, which is good, so you can go...
And a basement cinema.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, it's quite interesting because the statistics are quite alarming because the statistics show that 50% of Australians are not happy in their job, and 50% of them are going to move within 2 years. So I suppose the whole issue is, if you want to attract particularly Gen Y and get them to stay and work with you, you've got to come up with a few sort of interesting things to keep them entertained.
We have a foosball table like Friends, but we've moved past that, haven't we?
Well,
we're looking to stay at home.
Well, that's
They
true.
don't want to come in anymore.
Well, exactly. They can do it all at home. But look, at the end of the day, if it makes your business productive, you know, it doesn't. If you can keep them and it makes them productive, keep them happy.
True. For the cost of a ping pong table. Maybe we need to have a discussion though about what work is.
Well, that's the other aspect too.
It's called work. Otherwise, it'd be called, I don't know, roller skating or something.
Well, it always worries me, particularly when you look over someone's shoulder and you see they've got sort of, you know, 10 things open and
one of them's Facebook.
Yeah, one of them might be Facebook as well. It's a whole new ball game for us, isn't it?
Nice to see you. Thanks so much.